Behind every powerful man, there's actually a more powerful woman. The woman who gives us a reason to get up in the morning and to live the life. I want to introduce you to the woman who's behind me, my wife.
Hi, I'm Darlene. I'm the woman behind the man, and we've been married for 20 years.
Is that long?
Seems unbelievable, but yes.
It's actually 20 years and 5 months.
It's been 20 years.
But when it's good, who's counting?
20 years. We've traveled hundreds and thousands of miles, air miles, around the globe, multiple continents, many countries, and this is our professional life. But behind our professional life and the business that we do together is our personal life.
Well, in our personal life, in this segment, we really want to talk about there are so many people who are in lockdown together. And for some people it is very easy, for some people it's very, very hard. Darlene, you had your own company before you met me.
I did, and since Neal and I have been married, one of the things we realized is that we spend more time together than any other married couple or people in a relationship together. And the reason we spend so much time together is not only are we married, we're professional in a professional life as well. We both...
Yeah, I actually work for Darlene. I go where she tells me to go as the person who handles my motivational keynote speaking.
So not only do I market Neal internationally, but I also book him with clients as well that want to hire him as a keynote speaker. So the hundreds of countries and conferences that we travel to, where Neal is the keynote speaker, I'm definitely the woman behind the man. So Neal takes the stage, but before he takes the stage, when we arrive, I have to iron his shirts, I have to get his hair ready, get his clothes ironed, and also to co-produce his keynote with the production company as well. So as Neal says, behind every man there's a powerful woman, but we know where we are together. We know what we have to do to support one another. I have no problem at all ironing Neal's shirts before he takes the stage. That's part of what I can do to support Neal so that he is confident, looks good when he takes the stage.
But you do so much more than just the iron shirt. You truly are my partner in every aspect of the way.
That's right.
We've divided areas of responsibility.
Yeah.
And for example, in our household, you've taken the well-being of us as a family, while I've taken the external component of, yeah, I handle the economics, I handle the logistics of the travel, and I love with little surprise trips, not even telling Darlene where she is. I just tell her, pack a bag, we're leaving in 1 or 2 days.
Our marriage has been one of many surprises, but they're all incredible surprises as well. But our relationship works because we believe and we understand the power of communication. There isn't anything that Neal and I can't share or don't share. We open the lines of communication from the day we were married. We can talk about anything. We support one another and we trust one another. And these are the things we feel strongly about that makes a relationship work. And it's vital to us to keep our space and to keep our home life protected. There's a lot of drama in the world, but it's not welcome in our life or in our home. So we try to keep ourselves empowered mentally, spiritually, physically, by taking care of ourselves, and taking care of ourselves meaning leaving the bags behind. A lot of people bring into their relationship a lot of elements that are not necessary, and we feel drag people down.
So, Darling, give the example of some of the bags that we don't choose to carry. For example, in my keynote, I speak about Gwen and your life with Bobby.
Yeah. So 3/4 of Neal's keynote, he speaks about the love of his life as a woman by the name of Gwen, who was there for Neal, with Neal for 8 years. And Neal was able to succeed and to achieve his dream of racing solo around the world because of the love of Gwen. And I have to tell you, Neal, if Gwen didn't love you, she wouldn't have put up with all the things that you made her put up with. Crossing oceans, being seasick, all of those things. She did it because she believed in Neal, she supported Neal, and she loved Neal. And women ask me, that's one of the questions that I get most often, is that, how do you feel about Neal speaking about Gwen? And I say, I feel incredibly what's the word I'm looking
blessed,
for?
honored.
Honored, that's the word I'm looking for. Honored that Neal honors her on the stage because she was such an important part of his life and he couldn't have achieved his dream without her. So she's always welcome in our life. She's always will be honored in our life, and that's a love that Neal had, a strong love that the two of them shared. And obviously, you see, Neal and I, we have an age difference between us, and I had a life before I met Neal 20 years ago, and Neal and I have honored the people that have been in the past. I had a person that I loved in my life for 15 years, and before I married Neal, I introduced Neal to him because I wanted them to get to know each other.
And Darlene has had many loves in her life over the years, and some of those loves are still involved in her life. And I look at it as what a great asset. If something happened to Darlene, there are a handful of men who are still alive, who, again, because of the age difference, some of these men have been much older than Darlene and hence are fairly elderly now in their years. But if I had a challenge, if there was a health issue or a security issue, there are certain people I could call who would drop whatever they are doing to be at my side, not because of me, but because of their admiration and their love for Darlene. And this is the capacity. The more we can actually love each other, the more is the capacity that we can love other people too.
So if you're carrying bags, and we know so many people that are, bags of resentment, bags of jealousy, bags of anger, bags of rage, whatever it is that you're carrying, these things are extremely heavy. And they're not needed in a relationship. If you can share and you can support one another and you can understand that these are the things that even though Neal and I are married, we still have relationships, we still have friendships, we still have ex-loves in our life, ex-lovers in our life, but these are the people that we welcome into our world. And so people need to understand, and hopefully we can share this with you, that these are the things that if you choose to carry them, they're going to burden you down.
And in our life as professionals, we're constantly traveling, we're constantly being stimulated by other people. A mechanic works on your car. A doctor takes care of your health. The accountant works on your monies. But yet when people come into a marriage, we want our partner to be everything. And yes, whilst you are so much to me, we have this understanding and this communication that is not exclusive, just, oh, you are my possession and this is only all I can have. We've got such an incredible love for each other that we can give each other the freedom to do what else is needed to be a whole human being.
That's right, that's right. And you know, just to put things in perspective, here Neal and I are on lockdown in South Africa, and South Africa is where Neal was born. And if we look back into the early 80s, when South Africa was in the apartheid era, Neal and I, if we were here, let's say COVID-19 was during the 80s, and Neal and I happened to be sort of in, I say stuck, and I don't mean stuck in South Africa, but in a relationship in South Africa during that time, we would have been under arrest.
Well, because you would have been thrown out of the country, the apartheid,
because of being an interracial couple.
And also, I would not be able to be in this estate because this estate would have been classified a whites-only environment.
That's right.
So there are external pressures that relationships face that hopefully we're living in a better time and a better era going forward about tolerance and about respect. And these are really important elements of how you make a relationship, whether it is your wife and slash partner or the people you interact with. These are all about powerful relationships, and we can't be tied up, oh, so-and-so is gay, or so-and-so is this, or so-and-so is that. It's how about just people really caring about each other
and lifting each other up. There's a lot of people that are on lockdown right now, in isolation right now with each other, that are having a difficult time. The things that are mounting inside of you, you need to share and talk about them and communicate with each other as to what are your expectations in a relationship and how can you support one another. And if these are the things that can be discussed before you go into a relationship or in the early part of the relationship, then you have a better understanding of what you will receive in regards to support and trust and love from a partner.
And another part of the relationship is everybody needs to get onto the same page about economics. What are your spending habits? When Darlene and I were dating, I asked you a lot of questions.
A lot of questions. And it wasn't like an interrogation. Neal was very interested in understanding and learning who I was.
And it was important to know, who am I marrying? Who's this person that's going to be my lifetime partner? To marry somebody for love alone is not enough. You've got to marry your best friend. You've got to marry somebody you admire, you respect, you trust. And so, because I had a good, strong strength in economic development, I took on the responsibilities of managing our financial resources. And there are times that I'll say, darling, what are your goals? What do you want to do? And we'll allocate a budget to do some of those things. But there are times darling says, well, I want to actually buy something. And I'd say, can you hold off on that? Because right now is maybe not the time. But it's about the communication. It's not about the control. It's about how long, how much, how do we work towards the things that we need, the things that we want.
That's right. And we're both always willing to look at the bigger picture. Looking at the bigger picture and how do we get there. So Neal, I'm looking forward to another 20 years.
An amazing 20 years ahead. And hopefully you can have what Darlene and I have built in the strength of your communication and the type of relationship you can have with your partner.
I hope so.
I love you.
I love you too, Neal.
Till the next time.